Hey, welcome to part 2 of Can I Speak to the Manager, Please? I just love that line. Very excited that you're here. Now, in this episode, what we're going to cover is when you get feedback from the customer, what do you do with that feedback? How do you internalize it, and how do you create the change to make their experience better? Get ready to live the dream. Welcome to the next 24 hours, where I'm going to give you real information you can really use to transform your life and work one day at a time. I'll be your host, Curtis Zimmerman. Now, you're in management, and I'm telling you, I want you to set up your people for success. I want you to give them all the tools and everything they need to have your customers, which, by the way, pay your salary based on the products and services that they buy. Are you giving those frontline people everything they need for success? I'm telling you, sometimes things you think of in a boardroom, things you think of while you're sitting at your desk as a good idea, ultimately don't work, and you have to listen to your customers to find that out. So here it is. My son Oliver and I, we're excited. We're going to a conference, and my son, I try to bring one or two of my children with me at a lot of my different speeches to try to give them a bigger worldview, expose them to different kinds of cultures, as well as different organizations and things like that. And it gives us quality time together, me and my son or me and my daughter. So Oliver and I are on this trip. And we're heading home, and we're in Chicago at O'Hare, and it's Sunday. So it's very crowded. You know, we go and we pass one of these bars that have, 1,000 TVs in them, and it's totally packed. There's no place to sit. Everybody's watching football on Sunday, and we're hungry, and we want to get a quick bite before we head home. And we turn the corner, and we see this Chili's. And we see a whole section that's totally empty in the restaurant. The rest of the restaurant's packed, right? The whole bar is packed. This whole little section, I'm like, Oliver, look, there's seating here. We can cruise in here. I haven't eaten at Chili's in a long time. That's not a normal place I go, but hey, let's check out the food and cruise on in there. So we get up, we say, table for two. There's some seats right over there. We'd love to just sit right over there. I like to people watch when I'm at the airport. I can get a good view there and just watch some people chat with Oliver. She goes, great. Okay, she grabs a couple menus. And as we're heading to our table, she says this. Just so you know, we can't change the channel. And I was like, okay. Whatever. And we go and we sit down, and we realize that this section is kind of isolated. It's kind of like on its own. There's a big barrier, like a big wall between us and then the rest of the restaurant. It's still open to the public, but it's kind of isolated from the rest of the restaurant. And then I noticed there's a giant flat screen TV on the wall just across from Oliver and I. And on that flat screen TV, it's running a series of advertisements. It's running certain shows and certain commercials, and it seems to be maybe like on a loop where it's running them over and over and over. And as we're sitting there and I'm looking at the menu and I'm chatting with Oliver, I remember, well, it's Sunday and there's big games on. And as we look across the restaurant, we see everybody engaged and cheering and drinking and eating and woohoo, having a great time. And I look at our little section, and there's Oliver and I, there's this television, and there's nobody else sitting in our section. And I say to Oliver, Oliver, it seems to me like we should be able to change this TV to have the football game on. Because if the football game was on, I have a feeling this whole section would be full. So I'm just assuming this. So finally the lady comes back to take our order, and I say, okay, we're going to have this, we're going to have that, excited to be here. I have a quick question for you. When we came to sit down, you had mentioned that you can't change the channel. What did you mean by that? And why can't you change the channel? And all of a sudden, her whole attitude, her whole body language changed dramatically. Well, here's the story. This is something they're trying, and what it is it's a TV, and it just does kind of marketing and advertising, and we have no control over it, and they kind of funnel in whatever they want us to show. And so today, it's Sunday, and all of our customers want to watch the football game, and so what keeps happening today is I bring people in, I sit them down, and then they find out the TV isn't going to show the football game, and they get up and walk out. And some people today have ordered, and then they order, and when they find out they can't watch the game, they get up and walk out. So it's been very frustrating for me. And I said, wow, that's really too bad. Why do you think they've chosen to have a television here that isn't able to show the game? And she didn't know the answer. But I'm telling you right now, I know the answer. The answer is somebody somewhere said, hey, if you put this TV in your restaurant and you show our advertising, you show our marketing, we're going to give you X amount of dollars. We're going to give you X amount of dollars because we want eyeballs on the TV. And I'm here to tell you that is the worst thing I've ever seen. You have people that are forced to watch something they don't want to. You have customers that maybe like me, I haven't eaten Chili's in years. I'm going to come in, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to taste the food, see what it's like. Instead, I'm having a really bad experience, and I'm going to leave. And the last place I'm going to go to eat in my local neighborhood when I leave the airport is Chili's. The money that you're making on that advertising compared to the cost acquisition it is to get new customers or get your old customers back, believe me, that number does not work. Are you setting up those frontline employees for success? Are you giving them everything to make their job better? Are you doing things that might seem cost effective but ultimately are killing your business? That's a question I have to ask at every executive meeting I have for the rest of my life. Hey, I'm going to jump in real quick. It's me, Curtis, and I want to let you know that I love doing my podcast. I also obviously love doing my keynote speech. Generally, I'm at big events. I'm the opening keynote to get people fired up. I'm the closing keynote to make people think about how can I go and take this information and use it over the next 24 hours. But I need your help because I want to reach more people. If you're listening to this content, if you've seen my keynote, if you read my book and you think it's important, I want you to share it with people. I want you to think about who might Curtis's message resonate with and then let me know. Seriously, call 513-229-3626. Let's see if we can put a date on the calendar. I'm booking out the next 6 months and I want to talk to more people, but I can't do it without your help. Have a great day. Thank you for your help and your support. Enjoy the rest of the next 24 hours. Now, it's so important that we bring all of these concepts, all of these ideas together and give you a tool that you can use in your real life. So one of the questions I always have when I deal with owner-operators, I deal with managers, I deal with new managers, I deal with how do we onboard people in management. And what I love to say is that words have power. So when I say the word love, when I say the word money, when I say the word taxes, when I say the word final exam, all of these things people have a reaction to. So when people hear, I want to talk to the manager, they also can have a reaction to that. But as a manager, I want you to think about the way you're going to handle when somebody says that and they're talking about you. So I've seen two different reactions to that. One is, I have the mindset of customer service. I have the mindset that we're trying our best to do things perfectly, but no matter how much we try, we have this human condition that means we're going to make mistakes. And part of my team, it doesn't mean they're not great, it doesn't mean they're not trying, but when 250 cars go through and you got to get the order perfect and there are thousands of combinations, the odds are one or two aren't going to be totally perfect. So how are you going to react to that when you're the person they're calling? So the one is, I need to get rid of this person. I need to spend as little money, as little time, and I have no bandwidth to deal with this person right now. They are a pain in my side, and I wish they would just go away as fast as possible. That's the way I'm going to behave going into this interaction with this person. They are the enemy, and I want them to get out of my territory called my restaurant, called my hotel, called my whatever it is, as fast as possible. The other is, wow, you know what? We have an amazing team. We have amazing products. We have amazing services. And what I want to do is I want to come out and I want to shower this person with love, shower this person with understanding, make them realize this is nothing personal about you. We appreciate your business. We appreciate you. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make you love our brand even more. So I'm in a drive-through at not a McDonald's, but at a Chick-fil-A. And as I get up to the window, the person explains to me that the cash register is out. So for whatever reason, we're having a problem with our computers and the cash register isn't working. And I'm like, oh no, this is lunch and I'm just trying to jump in here real quick. I'm not sure what I'm going to do now. All these different scenarios start going through my head. Where am I going to go eat? What's going to happen? Should I wait in line? There are 20 cars behind me, all these things. And the person smiles and says, so because of that, it looks like lunch is on us today. And reaches over and hands me my food and says, have a great day. And I'm like, well, wait, so you're saying that your computers are out, so you can't take my credit card. Therefore, you're giving me the food for free? And she said, absolutely. So sorry for the inconvenience. After my head exploded and I picked it up off the dashboard, I drove away. And guess how many people I've told that story to? Guess how much PR, marketing, real world like love that brand received by giving me $4 worth of free food. Thousands and thousands of dollars worth of goodwill was spent that day by doing the right thing, by empowering the manager, by empowering the customer to go and ask for something and see it's not right, but then giving them the solution to make me leave happy and to keep the line moving. That is the secret sauce that everybody needs to have. And I share that with you because I want you to think about that with yourself. I want you to think about that. What is something I can do and what is something I can see in my people, in my relationships, with the interactions I have today, and what can I appreciate in somebody else? Even if they're having a problem with me, even if they're having a problem with something I've done, how can I set it straight, move forward, and make sure our relationship grows from this experience, not try to diminish them, hold them down? That's what I want you to think about when you think about this podcast. It's not about being a manager. It's about you're the manager of yourself. You're the star of your show. And every interaction you have in this life experience is an opportunity for you to build somebody up and for you to create your brand called Your Brand, which is brand you, and take it to another level by loving, giving, and sharing good stuff every single day. So I want you to think about those two different managers, and basically what it is they're getting feedback. They're getting feedback from the customer of what's working, what isn't working, and you can have a reaction to that in your own life. How do you take it when somebody in your real life gives you feedback? Do you have the same thing with, I want to get this person out of my face, I don't want to hear what they have to say, and I want to get them out of my space as soon as possible? Or do you say, wow, this is an opportunity for me to grow as a person. This is an opportunity for me to learn more about the way the world perceives what I do and how I act. Even though I might have the best intentions, for whatever reason, they're not getting what I'm saying. They're not completely understanding why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I'm going to take that feedback, I'm going to listen, and then I'm going to let them know how much I appreciate them giving me real, honest feedback so that I can hopefully create change in my behavior, in my life, and deepen my relationships. That's the kind of stuff everybody needs to do, and that's the way we can all be leaders in our own lives. All right, well, it is time for my favorite part of our podcast. It's time for the 24-hour challenge. And the 24-hour challenge today is brought to you by Delta Airlines. That's right, they're not sponsoring this podcast, but the 24 hours challenge comes directly from them. Because when you hit a certain status on Delta, they send you your little baggage claim tag that you're able to put on your bag saying you're gold or diamond or platinum or whatever it is. But more importantly, in that little packet comes a little card. And the little card has between 3 and 6 little pieces of paper that when you're flying over the next year, when you see somebody do something amazing, when you see an employee go over the top as one of their big medallion people, you're supposed to take that and then you write their name, you write the flight, and then you write what they did that made your day. And I love how that's baked into what they want for customer service. They're asking you as one of their prime customers, we want your feedback and we want to see what our customer service is doing and what our employees are doing correctly. So here's an easy way to do that. I have a question. Why doesn't every major brand I work with do that? I'm not saying these brands specifically. Why don't I have the same little 3 cards when I stay at the Marriott? Why don't I have the same little 3 cards when I rent from Hertz rental car? Why aren't they saying, hey, let us know the feedback? I'm telling you why. A lot of the people aren't doing that. They don't want your feedback. They don't want to hear what the customer service is like. They don't want to hear what their employees are doing right or not doing right. Delta leans into it because they want to improve their service. The 24-hour challenge on this one is going to be really fun because what you're going to do is you're going to find someone that you work with. You're going to find a customer. You're going to find a partner, and you're going to stop and say, you know what? I want you to give me a 30-second review of our customer service, of your experience while you're here, of the way I communicate. I want a 30-second review of how I'm doing as a husband over the last week and what I can do better, because I really want to take whatever it is you give me as feedback and create a change in my behavior and what we provide, something to that effect. Now, the second part of this is even more important than getting that feedback. So as I use the Delta example, I write out what it is that the feedback is, but then you take that feedback, you internalize it, and you create change based on feedback. That's the hardest thing as a person, and that's what I want you to do. Once you get the feedback from someone, don't judge it. Don't justify the behavior. Don't justify why you do it a certain way. Take that, internalize it, don't judge it, and then thank them for their feedback. A hearty thank you for the feedback. That's great. And leave it alone. Walk away. If you do that and then implement those changes, I think you're going to be amazed at what the next 24 hours and the next 4 or 5 days look like in your life. Hey, thank you for listening to the next 24 hours. I want to know, do you want to live the dream? Because if you do, all you have to do is go to curtiszimmerman.com, click on Want to Live the Dream, and I'm going to send you out an official Living the Dream wristband as a gift. Remember, in order to live the dream, you have to make the next 24 hours count. The clock is ticking.